Figure it out.
Hello, this is Adam Koralik with Figure It Out Productions. The following video is part of our Quick Shoot series.
Hey guys, welcome to PlayLoad. These are all my pickups, my video game pickups for February 2013, and we'll just go straight into it. And first thing I got here is the Super UFO Pro 8. You guys might remember I did an entire video on this. I picked this up at retrotowers.co.uk, and you should go check out that video. In short, what this is a flash card for the Super Nintendo. Basically, it lets you play almost all your games on the Super Nintendo. They can all just be put right on this cartridge, which is pretty awesome. Like I said, I did a whole video on that, so check that out if you're interested. But if you go to retrotowers.co.uk to get one of these, or anything on that website, if you use my name, Adam K., I'll put it right there. If you use that as a coupon code, you get 5% off your order, any item on the site. So go check it out. But anyway, yeah, I like this item a lot, and yeah, I mean, I did an entire video on it, so there's really not much else to say. But yeah, go check out retrotowers.co.uk if you want to get one of these. Now, some people will probably wonder, and you know, like if I have something like this, why would I ever pick up Super Nintendo games again? Well, I like to collect. That's fun for me. This by no means stops me from doing that. And proof of it, of course, is that I picked up some Super Nintendo games. I got, not a very good Super Nintendo game, but I got The Wizard of Oz. You know, I think the AVGN did a video on this at some point. Horrible, terrible platformer, but it was cheap, and I just wanted it because it was funny to have. I also picked up Kirby's Dream Course, which was, man, I got this like at the beginning of the month. I barely remember what this is about. I think it was like a puzzle type of game. I don't remember being particularly impressed by it. I was actually rather disappointed because I think Kirby's awesome, but I don't think I really enjoyed this game. So, yeah, that is what it is, but I did pick it up. Now, back in the video that I did over here for the Super UFO Pro 8, I actually, if you guys recall, I actually picked up a couple of packages, and other packages from retrotowers.co.uk, and I said that those packages, the items inside, would be revealed in this video. So it's time to do that. The first thing I picked up, Puyo Pop Fever for the Xbox. Now, of course, you just look at it and go, oh, big deal. Well, this game on the Xbox was only released in Europe. It was never released in North America on the Xbox. And I always thought that was kind of strange, but I knew I wanted to get it. This game was released on a lot of consoles, but in different regions. In the US, it was released, and probably in Canada too, it was released on the GameCube and the PS2. In Europe, it was released on the Xbox, obviously. It was probably also released on the GameCube and the PS2, I'm not sure. And in Japan, it was actually also released on the Dreamcast, and I have that as well. So it's just neat to have the Xbox version. Now, in order to play this, you'll either need a European Xbox or a modded Xbox. So, yeah, just so you know. The Xbox is not particularly import-friendly unless it has a mod chip. I also picked up Altered Beast for the PS2. This as well is, I believe, a European exclusive because I'm pretty sure this never came out in North America. I've never seen it. And yeah, I heard it was canceled on its way over here. So it was cool to get another European exclusive. And I like the European cases. They're blue, which I think would have really helped the PS2 stand out a bit more as opposed to like just the black cases they went with. But you know, that's just personal opinion. I didn't really play this game very much, and so I don't have much of an opinion on it yet. It's just neat to have. And finally, I got for the N64 Taz Express. Now, Taz Express was one of only 4 N64 exclusives in Europe. They had only 4 games that were released there that were not released anywhere else. And the other 3 are all sports games. So this game is actually considered rather rare and semi-expensive for the N64. And by semi-expensive, I mean it's like $40. But it's really cool to have. And those are what the European tabs look like, which I'll show in a moment, compared to Diddy Kong Racing, which is my only other N64 pickup this month. I know it's kind of surprising. I didn't own Diddy Kong Racing, but now I do. And what I mean by tabs, of course, is when you stick it into the N64, there's plastic blocking it so it can't go into the wrong region. Those are what the American tabs look like. Okay? And that's what the European tabs look like. Now, this is my only European N64 game, so yeah, it's cool to have that, especially a rare one like that. Unfortunately, I can't play it because it is region locked. Nintendo went out of their way to make sure that this game would not work on an American N64. Even with import devices, it does not work, period. So I don't know why the hell they did that, but yeah, so I have no idea if the game's any good. but it's a very cool showpiece nonetheless. As for Diddy Kong Racing, I mean, I think a lot of you have played Diddy Kong Racing. I don't want to call it a Mario Kart clone necessarily, but I mean, it's kind of hard to avoid calling things like those kind of games Mario Kart clones, because they kind of are. But it's a fun one, and it's actually, I believe, where Conker of Conker's Bad Fur Day got his debut, so that's really neat. Moving on, we've got Dark Angel Vampire Apocalypse for the PS2. My only other PS2 pickup, other than Altered Beast, of course. I got this at a Goodwill. This was like $1. It tempted me, and I just went for it. Felt bad for it, really. And it's an interesting, like, you just like run around a dungeon and then kill everything that comes up on you. It's a very early looking PS2 game. In fact, I think it's actually printed, if I recall, it's printed on a CD, not a DVD. Yep, CD, because it's blue. So, yeah, early on PS2 game, not particularly impressive, would not really recommend it. Now, here's a game that most people probably would recommend, which is The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword for the Nintendo Wii. I picked this up because I've been getting a little bit more into The Legend of Zelda lately. I kind of never really got into that. I know that sounds very strange, but I never did. And this one, well, usually Nintendo doesn't ever drop the price on their first-party titles while they're new. And Legend of Zelda games tend to hold their value, like, always. They never really go down, which is kind of impressive, to be honest. And Target and Best Buy, just a couple, like a week ago, they were all selling this for $20 brand new. So I said, okay, I'm never going to beat that. Even in the used market, it would take years before it would be $20 again. And so this way it's brand new, I know it's complete, and of course it had valid Club Nintendo points, which I'm starting to get into Club Nintendo a bit. So yeah, that was pretty cool to pick that up. Moving on. Well, I guess I haven't really played it yet, but I will do that at some point. I want to do like a giant Legend of Zelda marathon. But yeah, moving on. Killer 7 for the Nintendo GameCube, which you guys obviously saw there for a quick second. This is an interesting cel-shaded game. I didn't play it for very long, because it seems like the kind of game you either like get into or you just never touch again, because it's got a very unique controlling style. You don't like just run around as a character. You have to like... It's hard to describe this. You have to like choose... There's like a bunch of angles that'll present on screen, and you kind of have to like pick one, and the character will do something in that direction. I know that doesn't really sound like it makes a whole lot of sense. It's just a hard game to kind of describe. It must be a big game because it's got 2 discs, and for the GameCube that's rather significant. This game was also available on the PS2, if anybody's interested. So that's really all I can say about it. It is a not a super common title. It's not a super expensive title, but it's not very cheap either. It was like $20 on average. I think I paid like $10. But yeah, nice to have it nonetheless. Hitman 2 for the original Xbox. I got this on clearance for $1. I haven't really played it yet. You know, it's Hitman. A lot of you are very familiar with Hitman, so it's just one of the original Xbox games. That's about it. It is not Xbox 360 compatible for those who are interested. Genma Onimusha, or Genma Onimusha, I'm not really sure how you pronounce that. This is 360 compatible. This is by Capcom. This also was on clearance for $1. Original Xbox games, if you're into the original Xbox, now's the time to strike, because a lot of the original Xbox games are very cheap at the moment. That will not last. Eventually they'll become more valuable. So right now we're in the period of cheap original Xbox games. So go out and strike if you can. I haven't really played any of the Onimusha games. Like I said, I really only picked this up because it was cheap, and I know that Xbox titles eventually will pick up. So it's good to have that. Lollipop Chainsaw. This game was a hell of a lot of fun. I played the first few levels of it. My girlfriend basically made me buy this because she thinks it's like one of the greatest games ever. And she was, you know, I wouldn't go that far, but I think it's a pretty good game. You know, it is pretty fun. You just run around as this like hot cheerleader babe and just like cut up zombies and stuff. It is a pretty cool game. It's very cheesy. It's very horror movie cheesy, and it's funny. It's very dark comedy, horror, cheesy. It's great. I would recommend it if you can go out and get it pretty cheap to do so. I think I paid like $20, so that gives you some idea of what it costs. That was $20 new, I believe. Street Fighter Cross Tekken for the Xbox 360, or X Tekken. I don't really know how people are pronouncing that. This was on sale at Target. This was on their clearance bin, I believe, for $10. And I was surprised by that because every store I'd gone into was selling it for like $40 or $50. So when I saw it for $10, they had like 8 copies of this game for $10 each. So I definitely grabbed one. because I figured that there must be some reason they're just getting rid of them. For all I know, there's going to be another another update of this, like Super Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and then this copy will be totally worthless because Capcom and was it Capcom? Yeah, Capcom loves to do that with Street Fighter. They're the ones who love to just re-release that series constantly, over and over and over again. As for the fighting style, as for the gameplay, it's a fighting game. It's a lot of fun. I've had fun with it so far, although admittedly I haven't played it nearly enough, and I really should sit down and do that. But if you like fighting games, this will probably be a good one for you. Moving on, for the original PS1, I got Grand Theft Auto. This was at Goodwill for about 50 cents. This is, I mean, everybody's probably familiar with Grand Theft Auto at this point, though for the youngins out there, Grand Theft Auto was not always the series you know it as Grand Theft Auto Vice City, or Grand Theft Auto 4, Grand Theft Auto 3. Originally it was just a top-down game, and you just had a bird's-eye view of a character, and you just run around and do little missions and stuff. It was not always the same way, guys, but the original Grand Theft Auto games I remember being kind of not so good, and it wasn't until Grand Theft Auto 3 that they really took off. Because nobody really expected Grand Theft Auto 3 to become what it did, and to kind of revolutionize things. So the original titles are cool to have, but really only there for nostalgia's sake. For the Sega Genesis, I got Team USA Basketball complete, and I also got Jordan vs. Bird complete. Now I'm sure you're thinking, why in the hell would you get two boxed sports games, especially EA sports games for the Genesis? Well, they were both at a used bookstore for $0.10 each. Can't really knock that. And they were complete, and I'm a giant Chicago Bulls fan, and more specifically, a giant Michael Jordan fan. And this is just some cool Michael Jordan merch to get my hands on. It's fake autograph. Those are obviously not real. So that was really the only reason I got these, is just because I'm a big Michael Jordan fan, because I live in Chicago and we worship the man like a god here. He has his own statue and everything. So I felt that I should get those, especially since they were so cheap, and they were actually games I didn't have. But as for actual gameplay, I mean, it's your typical Sega Genesis sports basketball game. It's nothing impressive, either one of them. So we move on. I got Jeopardy for the Sega CD. This is my only Sega CD pickup in quite some time. Interesting thing about the Sega CD, I see games for it at a lot of used stores. I never see the systems anywhere. A friend of mine pointed that out to me. He's like, did you just notice? Is it just me? Every used store I go to, they have Sega CD games, but no one has the system? And then I thought about it, and he's like, he's totally right. That always happens. And why the hell is that? Where are all these people trading in these Sega CD games that don't have the system? But, yeah, anyway, so I did pick this up because I didn't have it. It was like $1. It really wasn't much. And this was surprisingly fun. I mean, it's just Jeopardy. But the cheesy cinematics combined with, you know, the way you type things in, it was just funny hearing, you know, you get an answer right, and they have the same video clip over and over again of Alex Trebek going, yes, that's correct. Or, oh, I'm sorry. You know, it was just funny to me. So I had a good time with it. And, yeah, but, you know, it's just Jeopardy, the way Sega CD would handle Jeopardy. I picked up, for the Sega Saturn, The Lost World, Jurassic Park. I actually remember playing this game as a kid. I believe I played it on the PS1, because it was also on that. Yeah, it's basically, you just mostly play as the dinosaurs, which is pretty cool. And I remember the beginning, you can play, I believe, as the dinosaurs or as people, or they eventually switch you off. I don't really remember. But, you know, I remember playing as, like, a raptor. You know, at the beginning, you just run and you just kill everything and just eat it, and that's how you gain health and stuff. No Jurassic Park game until recent years has actually been very good. I believe Operation Genesis for the Xbox was pretty good, and that Jurassic Park game for the 360, that game is amazing. Everyone should get that. That was made by the guys who made Back to the Future game a couple years ago. It's made by the same guys who just made the Walking Dead game. Sorry, Walking Dead is a reference to our Christopher Walken through video on Machinima. Sorry, ignore that. Walking Dead, the game that won Game of the Year, was also made by those guys. But that has nothing to do with this game. This game is obviously based on the horrible, terrible sequel to Jurassic Park, The Lost World. And I think the game was probably better than the movie, even though the game is not that good. For the Sega Saturn as well, I got Rayman. This is I mean, everybody's played Rayman, I think. This is a very fun platforming game. It looks very, very nice on the Sega Saturn. I believe this was originally created for the Jaguar, actually, and then eventually was ported over to the other consoles, but then the Jaguar was declared a failure. So it's neat to have, and yeah, it was cheap. And one thing I noticed about it is that the logo is screwed up, and I'm wondering if anybody can tell me anything about that. If you look on the side of this Sega Saturn game, you'll see the S, like Saturn logo, is normal, but if you look here, it's flipped upside down. And just prove I'm not crazy here, take a look at it. The trade, well, see, it's a different color first of all, and the shining orb part, like there's the orb there, and there's like a little reflection on it, is on the bottom on this one. So it's definitely flipped upside down, which is some sort of factory production error, and I'm just wondering if all copies of Rayman are like that, or if that's just a weird fluke. But anyway, that's it for Sega Saturn stuff. Now, some games I got here for the Atari 2600. I got Target Fun, which I really don't remember. Frogs versus Flies. This is kind of like that shitty frog feces, whatever the hell you want to call it, game for every system ever made. I think you just jump on like a lily pad as a frog and go from one back and forth. It's a terrible, terrible game. And I think it was entirely based on this game, so this game, I don't remember being very good. Bowling, as the Atari 2600 would handle it, not very exciting. Football, even less exciting. I mean, this predates Madden in levels of boring. Circus Atari, I honestly don't remember how this played. This seems like it could have been some fun, but yeah, I don't remember. And baseball, yeah, not anything I'm really going to remember. Now, of course, you're wondering why the hell I have all these terrible Atari 2600 games. Well, some of you guys remember I did a video on this. This is the Sears Telegames Atari 2600. I did an entire cleaning and restoration video of this. This is not a super rare, but a relatively rare variant of the Atari 2600 that was exclusive to Sears, I believe in 1983. And yeah, so they came with the system, and obviously I did not buy it for the games. I bought it for this, but the games were a bonus. But yeah, go check out the cleaning video on this thing if you want to see that. I also picked up, as you guys might recall, a Neo Geo X, and it came with a copy of Ninja Masters. I've recently been informed that they are going to go ahead and make more games for this. I think they announced 21 new games, which is pretty cool. Though my review of the Neo Geo X, in short, I haven't done a proper review on it. It's for those who didn't watch my video, my unboxing / mini review. This is just a docking station. The actual system is a handheld, though you can use the docking station to connect it to a TV and treat it like a console. It comes with its own controller, but look at this. It won't even close properly. This is not... Okay, there it is. I do not recommend this unit to people, which sucks. I would love to be able to recommend that this thing was great and say, oh, it's awesome, you should all get it, but it's just not. I would only pick it up as a collector's piece, or if you can get it very cheap, because it's just not that good. As a handheld, it's probably okay, but I really don't value handhelds like at all, so as a console, it sucks. And finally, I just did a video about this. This is my one of my crown jewels now. This is a region-free, VGA-modified Sega Dreamcast that it was made for me, custom made for me by a guy named Justin. And thank you again, Justin, for making this. That was really awesome of you. I did an entire video about this, which is surprisingly popular. I can't believe how many views that video has. But thank you to everyone who did watch that video. That means a lot. And I got some HD footage of Shenmue running on this thing in that video, so go check it out. This thing is very, very sweet. This is like basically the ultimate Dreamcast right here. And yeah, so anyway, guys, that pretty much does it, since I talked about all three of those things in their own videos. That's pretty much all my pickups for February 2013. And I just want to say thanks for watching, and again, thank you to Justin, and please go check out retrotowers.co.uk. Pick yourself up something like that or anything, and use my name as a coupon code to save yourself 5%. And yeah, that'll about do it. Oh, there is one other thing. I want to give a special shout out to a guy named Nick. He tried to send me a box of just things he didn't really need, you know, some video game stuff, and apparently it got lost in the mail, and that really, really sucks. So obviously I can't do, what I was going to do is do an unboxing video and show you all the neat stuff he was sending me, but like I said, post office seemed to lose it, so that really sucks. So Nick, I want to thank you for your good intentions and good efforts, and hopefully it arrives someday, but if it doesn't, I hope this satisfies you. So again, thank you, Justin. Thank you, retrotowers.co.uk. And thank you to Nick. And see you later, everybody.